Okay, I'll begin our commission meeting for May 4th, 2022, and let's start with our Pledge of Allegiance, please. Commissioner Weston, would you lead us?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let's review the agenda and make a decision on it.
As far as I know, we're good.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda as we currently have it for the May 4th meeting.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Voting is unanimous. All right, our first item of business is our sheriff. Would you identify yourself, Sheriff, for the record? And
Sheriff Dale Stacey.
okay, go ahead and give us what you can discuss.
So I only got a couple of copies of this, but anyway,
Good.
last year we had an issue with getting vehicles and prices and all of that stuff, but I stayed in contact with Ken Garf Ford, and the salesman Jim Elliott called me a couple weeks ago and said he had one that fit what we were asking for last year, because I told him just keep going so we could get a price. Anyway, the bid that he sent me is $43,260, and since it's a new year, I've only got a couple of copies of that, but that's
So this is, okay, so this is under the Utah State government contract, so.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can accept just one bid because it is under state contract. All right, great.
And I can't remember, I think that's about what we paid for the one last year, was 43 something, it seemed like, anyway. That Dodge we got, but I can't remember the exact price.
I don't remember either. It seems like it's about
But
43.
he said if I could get this approved, he'd hold it for us. As someone,
So has he got it on the lot?
I think so, he said someone ordered it and then didn't take it. But it's the same thing
So
that
the
I've
Dodge
been
went
asking
on
for.
last year's budget,
Right,
and this is going on this year's.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we were,
I think it was really close to that price, it seems like it was. Because we just barely got it because of the problems with trying to get, we sat in here and tried to get bids on Chevrolets and Fords and Dodges, and
yeah, I think I've got to, let me just look really quick here.
So we can just accept this since it's a state bid, right?
Where it is state bid, we don't have to,
Okay.
see.
46,637 was what our Dodge was.
Okay, so this is below that, but
Yeah.
it says somewhere on there, I think,
It's
government.
right here.
Yeah, Utah
Yeah,
State
yeah,
contract.
Yeah, that's why I
government.
say it is, so we can accept the one bid, so,
Yeah, this was 3,000 more than,
yeah.
that one was 3,000 more than this one, and
Does this one have a heated steering wheel though?
I don't know.
and heated seats.
Yeah.
So
It's
this
not
is-
mine, so I don't care.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
This is,
So this is the XL though, this isn't the XLT, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
I think that's what John's driving right now anyway, is an XL.
okay.
but it does have the off-road package and the extended fuel range, 36 gallon.
It's got the longer bed, which is
Yeah.
actually more important for me than him, but
But they corner and do better, those long beds, I think.
yeah. Well, and you run on the ambulance, you know why I need the longer beds.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I'd say, I'll make a motion that we accept this bid for this truck for $43,260. for the sheriff's department.
Okay.
Second that motion.
Have a motion and a second for the purchase of Ford 150, 2022 for $43,260. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, that voting is unanimous and the approval to purchase that truck, Sheriff.
I will
Becky
get
will
with him.
need a copy of
Yeah,
your
I-
bid, so.
Just hand that to Becky and I'll contact him today and have him, let him know.
Yeah, let's get it lined up. Looks like we're gonna be out of ways on. Now, on this one, are we gonna switch, equipment?
Actually, what I would like to do, which we probably should discuss here, is, so John sat for a year because he was out when he got run over. So his has low mileage and we're still trying to hire another deputy. And so what I'd like to do is just keep that one for the new person. Because
Okay.
it is lower, it's
Mileage,
lower
okay.
mileage. If that's acceptable to the commission, then that's what I would like to plan on doing.
So which one would we be?
Does we get new equipment?
Yeah, we'd have to get some new
Okay.
equipment if we kept the other one, if we kept John's old one. And
Okay,
just
what are
leave
we-
everything.
What are we gonna do with Jared's? He's getting a Dodge. You're getting this new one, you're gonna keep John's. So
Yeah,
yours-
I don't know, whatever,
So
I
we
guess
got-
we could use it
that-
for sovereign lands.
That's what I'm saying, so you wanna switch the equipment from the Sovereign Lands one that's sitting over there that you're using?
Yeah,
You wanna switch it to this new vehicle? and
Yes.
Keep Jared's, which one's got more miles on it, the one that's sitting over there or Jared's?
the one that's sitting over there,
I would
I
think.
think has more
Yeah.
miles.
So it's the oldest of
Yes.
those,
Yeah,
okay,
and again, John's is, because of John's injuries, his
Right.
sat for like a
Right.
year and didn't get any miles put on it, so his is pretty low mileage, which would work good if we, when we get someone else hired, you know, put them, because we're not gonna have budget to buy 2 new vehicles, so if we could keep John's, and even if we use it for sovereign lands right now, if we hire a full-time deputy, then he would have a vehicle to move into.
I think John's is still an older truck though than the one that you've been using for Sovereign Lands, because that was Tom's. When Tom got his new truck, then that one went to Sovereign Lands, the one that's sitting over in Garden
Yeah,
City,
but
right?
that was older than John's.
Was it?
Yeah,
It
we
was.
always trade out the oldest one.
Well, I was thinking that, but, okay, I
Yeah.
mean, whatever works for you, I just,
And I don't know what, I don't know what the mileage is, I'd have to look at the mileage on them,
but this new truck, we probably could switch the most of the equipment over
I would
from,
think so,
from that
yeah.
one over there,
where it's the same
right?
brand and everything, I think it would be an easier switch over. The Dodge, they called me, they had a little problem with the
Seat.
seat and several things, and we had to actually spend quite a bit more to get stuff that would work.
So where's it at now?
Still over there, we're waiting for a camera and a radio.
He called. and
There was
said-
some recall on it, and they.
Yeah, he's had that, he's ready for it, he's called me 3 times. And we got.
He's ready to do the recall?
Yeah.
So they didn't take it over? Because I thought we'd work that
He
out.
hasn't seen it.
All right, I'll get with them to get it over there, but it's at the installation place right now.
I told him it's not in the county yet, so it's still over there, and he says, well, I thought we were lined up to do it, and it never showed up, and da-da-da. I can go get it if I need to.
I thought we were lined up to do it too, but they must not have taken it over.
And I called you and you didn't answer, so I called Jared and I says, he's ready for the truck. If they don't have parts, we ought to get it to him to do his part and then take it back.
I agree with that, and that's what I thought we had done.
They may still have it apart enough though that they can't get it over
Can't
there.
move it.
Yeah, cause they still gotta put the radio in it, and the radio is a remote radio, and so I'm not sure, they may have the whole seat and everything out of it to run the
Maybe so.
cable underneath. I mean, I
I
don't
don't know.
know
We can
that,
check,
but,
though.
but yeah, to do some checking on that. Anyway, okay. Well, that'll be good if we can get that and get one of those back. I mean, here we are going into May and we still don't have a truck, but
It's better than the December one last year, I
yeah,
guess.
that's true.
It's just been hard to get everything,
It's-
but I did talk to Bryce, and he wasn't sure when that radio funding was coming, but he seemed to think it was coming soon.
But that equipment in that truck that's sitting over there, that should have is that still got a camera in it? We pull
I
that
think
out?
so.
Okay, so that should have everything really to equip this new
I'll have to
truck.
look for sure, but I think it has a camera in it.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it does actually now I think about it, because I know, yeah.
And then after that tasing incident, I told John to order a couple more body cameras for the sovereign lands people. In today's world, you just about gotta
Yeah,
have them,
good.
so.
Yeah, I think that's important. Good. All right. Do you
Okay,
have anything else?
nope.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So looks like Jeff Bybee's our next guy.
I think he's out in the foyer.
We're ready for you.
The two individuals from Salt Lake just showed up, so
Good.
I'll let them know where to come in. We'll be right in.
Awesome, that'll be great.
Be here in just a second.
Natural gas, that's cool. This will be a discussion that I've tried to initiate a dozen times over the last 10 years, but see how that goes. So on our 11:30 item, which is our resolution to.
Ready lunch here.
Yeah, just let's pull some chairs up here. Come right on up.
Gentlemen,
All right.
I am well, and yourself?
We're great.
Good. Thanks, Jeff.
I'm Commissioner Bill Cox, and this is Commissioner Sim Weston and Commissioner John Lee. So if you'd introduce yourselves.
My name's Jeff Bybee. I'm the manager for region operations for the Wyoming region. That includes Rich County, Utah, and Summit and Wasatch County, Utah as well, on top of our footprint in Wyoming. So
Great.
I'm Ashley Thompson. I'm in the Key Accounts Business Development Group with my colleague Brad.
And I'm Brad Simons, work Key Accounts Business Development, based out of Salt Lake. Our responsibilities deals primarily with large commercial industrial customers. We also work with community relations, the liaisons between the local communities, and we've also been, last couple of years, assigned to system expansion through the Utah Rural Expansion legislation that was passed in
Project.
2018.
Yeah, great. Great. Great.
So appreciate you guys
Yeah.
making the time to meet with us this morning. Are you aware of the legislation that was passed in the state of Utah for rural expansion?
Yeah, I am, but maybe why don't you,
I'll let Brad, he's the expert on it, so he can give the background.
So in 2018, House Bill 422 was passed, and what it did is it authorized, or it gave the Public Service Commission authorization to approve natural gas expansion into rural Utah. There are some limits to the legislation as far as how much money can be spent over a 3-year period of time and how much in total. And that is based on our allowed revenue as a public utility. And so every 3 years, currently, we cannot spend more than $69.5 million. And if we spend $30 million in year one, say $30 million in year two, and $9.5 million in year three, once year one rolls off, then we could spend that again in year four. So it's a 3-year moving average. So we didn't know what we were doing after the legislation was passed. And so we sat around and we said, what do we do? And so we kind of brainstormed, and we came up with 10 communities that we had thought or heard of that wanted natural gas. And we sent emails out to those communities. Out of the 10, 5 responded. And we were a little surprised at that maybe we didn't get more than that, but that's okay. So we worked with the 5, and we took a look at what it would take to extend service to those communities and what made sense. Because even though the commission has the okay to approve it, we still have to show that it's wise and prudent, because the cost of the program is being borne by our entire rate base.
Right.
And so that's kind of the trade-off. Where Rich County comes in is we did send an email to the mayor of Garden City. We did not receive a response. We sent out a second email, and we did not receive a response. So again, working with those that we did receive responses from, Eureka was selected to be our first community. And so we filed with the commission. We did our due diligence about what it would take to bring natural gas to Eureka. We filed with the commission. Once we do that, they have up to 6 months, 180 days to make a decision on that. They approved the project, and last year we completed that project, and natural gas is now available to the community of Eureka.
Awesome.
Looking for additional communities, we still had, of course, some that were interested. We are utilizing the line that we're running to Eureka, and a second project was filed to serve the community of Alberta and the town of Goshen. And that project has been approved by the commission. We will actually start Monday with construction on the infrastructure to that community, with the hope of having gas to those 2 communities by middle of October of this year. A third community was selected and approved earlier this year, and that is the community of Green River, Utah. And there were many pieces that had to come into place with Green River. Some pieces that were out of the ordinary for us. We had to purchase a third-party pipeline that was for sale, and so we were able to negotiate that sale and make that purchase. And our goal is to have service to the community of Green River October of 2023. It's about a year. Yeah, we don't do a lot of work after we file until we get the PSC's approval. You might have heard that we just filed a rate case in the state of Utah. We filed it on Monday, May 2nd, for $70.5 million. If it is approved, which of course they never are as filed, we would anticipate that when the new rates go into effect, which would be January 1 of 2023, our allowed revenue is changing, so we would envision some additional dollars being available for rural expansion. It's undecided on our side what we would do with those additional dollars, to be right honest with you. Our gut feeling is that we will likely hold on to those until we see the final cost for Green River. Because as we know, costs are going up, and so what we submitted to the Public Service Commission, we may not be able to deliver on it. We may have to go back and say, we asked for approval to spend X amount of dollars, we need X plus this. And so that's kind of our initial thoughts there, but it's uncertain as far as what we'll actually receive. Like I say, we won't know until January 1 of 2023, at the latest, what the Public Service Commission decides on. On a general rate case, they have 240 days to make a decision. So it's a little bit of time.
And you say to service the community, do you take it to the city line, or do you take it to the customers within the city?
Great question. For the communities that we are serving, we are taking it all the way up to the residents, including the main line in the street, the service lines to the homes or the businesses, and the meter set. So originally, House Bill 422 only allowed for the main line in the street. And we didn't really think about it until after we filed with Eureka, to be honest with you. And so the following year, in 2019, we amended House Bill 422 to include service lines and meters. And we amended our filing for Eureka to roll that in, and the commission approved that. And so, yes, our goal is to lay the shortest amount of pipe, get the greatest amount of customers, but we realized that in order to get those customers and let them enjoy natural gas, we need to bring it as close to the home as possible.
Right.
Yes.
And a lot of these small municipalities couldn't afford to do the infrastructure.
Yeah,
No,
that's, I've talked to previous commissioners. I don't know if you guys were commissioners at that time, and there was a lot of interest at that time of, you know, how do we get gas to the Bear Lake Valley? And we had some options at that time of area extension fee, to where that community, we'd run the system, they'd pay it off over a period of time with an additional cost on top of the natural gas usage, and that was still not feasible for the Bear Lake Valley. And so I was really shocked when I heard that they'd sent the email out and didn't get a response, because my experience, I've been up here in this position now for 14 years. I constantly get hammered of, are you ever going to get gas in Bear Lake Valley? Are you ever going to get gas? So when Brad told me that, yeah, we sent the surveys out and didn't get anything back from Bear Lake, I was like, it's not what I'm hearing. So that's why I wanted to set up the meeting today and meet with you as commissioners to give you an idea of the legislation that's taking place, the opportunity that's available for the Bear Lake Valley. And it would be a substantial project, bigger than anything we've done so far under the legislation. But
Where's the end of the line?
we want to get you on the list. So our line, we have a high pressure line that runs through the crossroads down here, down Manhead Road.
Right.
Dead ends about 12 miles south of Cokeville. And so we could go either up the highway or get permitted to go across BLM to bring it into
So
the
you
Bear
wouldn't
Lake
come
Valley.
up from Montpelier?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
No, that's another gas company, another system.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we would more than likely, this legislation couldn't cover Fish Haven because it's Idaho. But I bet the community of Fish Haven, if we got it there, now their cost is significantly less
Yeah.
because it's right to their border. So
And of course, once Eureka was approved in Goshen and Alberta and down Green River, all of a sudden we are hearing from some communities that say, how do I get on the list?
Boy, just another option is just,
Yeah.
that's what we need.
So we are keeping a list of interested communities, and once we are in a position to expand again, we would take a look at that list and refresh all of the information on that list and make that decision. We have a little matrix that we run it through, that the commission has kind of felt okay with, and to see what pencils out.
So you would take the line right to the property line or to the home?
Right to the home.
Right to the home.
house, right to the next to the house.
That is awesome.
So, in the overall expansion, we're talking about Garden City, but we've got Lake Town, who.
We'd pick up
you-
Lake
you
Town.
would pick up
We'd
Lake
go
Town,
through Lake Town
right.
and get to Garden City.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So, between those two communities, and the amount of growth that's taking on, particularly in the Garden City area, several of those subdivisions are doing their own systems with just, two buried propane tanks, and actually are running to their, running central gas lines right
I
from
would-
those tanks.
I was shocked when I went over there, it was several years ago, right there next to Sweetwater. There's a little community with some,
Yeah.
and they had gas meters on them. And
Yeah.
I'm like, they'd run their own propane distribution system.
Yeah, that's actually owned by the propane company in
T7.
Woodruff. He's the one that put that in.
Yeah.
But that's, rather than put individual tanks in, he actually installed that in that subdivision. And,
Now, the customer would be responsible for the conversion of their appliances.
Correct.
Yeah.
And almost all the heating
Oh, come on, buy
appliances.
us a new stove, new fridge.
I would say all the heating, all furnaces and everything can be converted easily. Cooking can be converted easily. Water heaters, it depends on what kind of water heater they bought. There's some that are UL listed for propane only, and they can't be converted. But if they are propane and LP, you can convert the water heater fairly cheaply too. And
would that conversion, those conversions actually would be done by, would they be done by Dominion? So that it would have to be someone who is a certified gas technician.
they could do it themselves or get a
Yeah.
certified HVAC contractor.
We
Yeah.
can give a little bit of guidance and
Right.
but hands-on, yeah. Between Lake Town and Garden City, do you know approximately how many structures or premises, as we call them, there might be?
Got all the stuff up around the golf course and Sweetwater.
You're probably gonna be looking, I don't know how many, what did our census say, John? We had.
So 3,200, 600 are primary homes. So probably you're just under 3,000, 2,700, 2,750.
And I've heard that there is a desire, I chatted with, what's his name? I want to say Chad Wilmer, a developer in Garden City, that has some plans to develop some property up there.
There's about a dozen developers over there who are either full-blown or right now on just putting stuff on the ground or putting plans together to put stuff on the ground. So, it's, if they knew it was coming, a lot of those developments would probably do things differently than, even if just putting the infrastructure in so that, it was there.
That's
So.
what we spoke about, and I was open and honest. I said, I can't say what the next city is because I really don't know, even on the list. Because a lot of it will be, like I say, we'll refresh the list and take a look at what the cost is to serve that community, and then we'll look at available dollars. There does appear, from what I'm feeling, that there might be an appetite within the legislators to possibly push for more growth in rural areas, which would mean that somebody, not Dominion, but somebody would have to remove my cap, my 2% cap, my 3-year spending cap. that has to go away. But at what expense to the rest of the ratepayers? You know, is there a limit, or is the overriding thing to bring natural gas and grow it to those areas?
You just can't tell Cokeville we're doing this because they want gas really bad too, and Wyoming doesn't have the same legislation, so.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't see it coming to Wyoming.
I know as this legislation was going forward, there was many discussions, and you know, one of the communities that kept coming up was actually, you know, the Garden City area and the growth that's been over there. I mean, and you know, at that point in time, was it going to come from Idaho, or was it going to come from our direction? And I had the understanding that it was a different gas company that was in Idaho,
Yep.
and more likely, you know, because you've got high pressure right to the junction, and the big issue will be figuring out how to get down the canyon if you go along the highway.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
We've gone through a lot worse than that one.
Okay.
You
Jeff will
forgot,
be
they
out
went
there.
to Eureka.
That's true.
Two-lane
It's
road
true.
through
All the way
that.
through that canyon.
Yeah, we
Rocky.
picked it up right there at the Kern River Compressor Station, just west of Redwood Road on Highway 6.
And
Yeah.
like I say, I'm
9
responsible for
miles.
Wasatch and Summit County. There isn't a worse place to dig in the world than Summit County.
Yeah, I haven't
It's
been down Lake Canyon.
it's hillside. I drive through it. I see the rock.
Well, I mean,
We're in a subdivision just to run for a subdivision right now where we have to blast rock to put the main in. So, and that's just for a development. So
and that's a fairly short distance, you know,
Yeah.
right down the very bottom of it. I mean, for the most part, I think, you know, from the junction to there would be, you got fiber on one side, so you could probably do it on the other. And, you know, I know that.
the shortest distance would be off the dead end through BLM,
Mhm.
come down on the.
Over 6 miles.
Yeah.
We have employees that have summer homes in Garden City, and I know of an employee and his brother that did send an email to the administration for Garden City and said, hey, here's his program, reach out.
I think, you know, I probably the understanding is that here's a program that you can put the gas in, and they probably, you know, in all fairness, they probably didn't understand that this was something that Dominion would be doing versus the community of you know, because we every time before it was like, well, we can put the main line in, but then the community's got to decide how, you know, and it's kind of like, do we put gas in, or do we fix the water lines that are, you know, so old that they're not holding water? And it's kind of like people have propane at this point in time, but if it's water or propane, you know, so
Yeah.
and so there was some, you know, I mean, because I know, you know, as we've had the discussion, the amount of money that would be to, you know, to put the lines in the community was just, you know, for these small communities, it's just overwhelming.
You're right.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing that's probably why you didn't get an immediate response. And as I don't think there's any question that you would have support from those communities to at least have that as an option for them.
Great.
Especially when they find out that their natural gas bill would be half of their propane.
Well, you know, if you're in the propane business, don't
Yeah.
say that too loud.
I know.
You
My
know,
good
and-
friend owns T7.
Yeah.
You might not be a good friend after that.
We did,
We're still friends.
At the Eureka filing, of course, the Propane Association did intervene, and they offered their position on the situation, and
We'll probably see the same thing on this
Yeah.
one.
the
I agree.
PSC did say, thank you very much, we'll take it under advisement, but they still approved the program.
I think there's 5 different propane companies that service those areas over there. I can think of 5. And, you know, so there will be, you know, there'll be some concern,
Absolutely.
I'm guessing, you know, and that's,
And customers, Commissioner, are not required to sign up.
right.
So
Yeah.
what we did with these communities is we did a survey, and we found out that we were receiving about 70% that indicated they would be interested in natural gas. If we had received 30% interest, we would not have gone to those
Yeah.
communities.
Yeah.
And so that initial survey gives us a good feel for what the residents would do. And then after that, then we start to do a little bit of a deeper dive and say, this is the number that we could pick up, how can we accomplish this? And so yes, we do have to have that community buy-in, but with that being said, so not everybody has to hook up, we view it as an option. From when gas is available, under current legislation, they have 2 years that they can receive a service line and a meter to their home, sign up for that. After they sign up for that, they have 2 years to connect to the system. If they don't connect to the system after that 2 years, we would look to them for the cost that was incurred to bring that service line and that meter. They would be responsible for that. So we give them a sheet and say, yes, we're gonna run 33 feet of service line, and we'll set the meter here, and the cost is gonna be $1,200. The next paragraph says that if you connect within 2 years, that $1,200 is not due.
And that's before the lines even run over there?
Yes, and so for instance,
So they're
Alberta-
committing to do it before you start digging?
They can, they don't have to. They
They
can
can.
wait till it's in.
We gained approval based on our surveys, not
Oh,
the
okay.
signups.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah.
we went to the commission and said 70% of it, Eureka said that they would switch, and they said, okay.
Oh,
As it stands right now, we were a little late getting service to Eureka last year. I think it was closer to middle of November, early December. Currently, we have 40 customers in Eureka that have signed up. We have 90 service lines that we've ran, 140 to go. And we are seeing, now that spring is here, more interest in having natural gas hooked up. And we're setting meters now weekly out there. So timing of the year, we try to tell this to our engineering crew. We'd really like to have gas available in August.
They always have my guys out putting lines in October, November, and December.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Don't want to switch at that time, so
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll get back with you in the spring, is what we're seeing in Eureka. But, yeah.
So what do you need from the commission? Just, you want to bring us up to date, or do you need something from us?
It'd be really good. What I wanted to do is make you aware, so if there was interest, you could reach back out to Dominion and get on the list. Because this project would use a good portion of that 69 million.
Yeah, what,
It's going to be bigger. I mean, we're picking up communities of right now 100 up to 300, and you're talking 3,000.
yeah,
So it's a leap, and that's why I wanted you to be aware. Maybe you could talk to the local communities, and then get back to us and see if there's enough interest to get Bear Lake Valley on our list, so we can start our planning process and not push it further down the road.
And again, with no guarantees, but
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually how Goshen played out. It was a city council member, Charles Pitkin, that reached out to me and said, hey, we're doing a water project, and is there any way that we can tear the streets up once? And we received the questionnaire back, and we did our due diligence, and it made sense with the line from Eureka. So we're just having that line that goes to Eureka and going east on Highway 6 into Alberta and Goshen. So the cost we were able to play the Eureka project into.
right, right. We'll certainly have some discussion with our with the Lake Town and Garden City leaders, and
We'll bring it up to the Lake Town City Council meet tonight, so maybe I'll try and be there.
okay, that would be good. We'll reach out to the mayor in Garden City and have him bring it before his council, but I'm pretty sure it'll be an overwhelming, yes, let's put us on the list and see how it entails
How it
and
shakes
what's
out.
going on, yeah.
Yeah, like I say, right now, the next available chunk of dollars would be the Eureka dollars. They will come off of my rolling average in 2025.
Okay.
With the current caps that we have under the legislation, if those caps are removed, then all bets are off.
So we couldn't start till 25.
Unless you move that 2% cap
Correct.
on the legislation.
Correct, but if you think about 2025 as far as dollars being available then for a community, working backwards with the commission having 6 months after we file, with us taking 6 to 9 to 12 months to do due diligence and surveys and things like that. Realistically, we're gonna be searching probably in the latter part of 2023, early 2024
Right.
for the next community. Would be my, would be my
That's so
guess.
far away.
Yeah. So far away.
Sounds
Until
like
you
it.
blink and it's
No.
here.
You,
We're in May.
and if you went across BLM, securing those
Yeah.
permits is gonna
Yes.
take some time as well,
Right.
so,
Yes.
Yeah, that
Which-
just got harder.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Should've done
kind
it
of
2
one of
years
those
ago.
things of,
Well, the administration will change and maybe that'll change too.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see.
true.
Yeah, river crossings, rail crossings, anything like that. We are having to file to bore underneath the Green River to serve the community of Green River.
yeah,
So,
okay,
but the BLM, I will say this, the BLM has been wonderful to work with in the community of Green River.
good,
As far as Green River was actually going to, probably shouldn't say this, but they were exploring the possibility of putting in a municipal system. And they had selected a route and done the engineering work and obtained the right-of-way permits from the BLM. And so when this opportunity came available, those permits and everything were transferable over to us, and Lisa, I forget her last name, starts with the W at the BLM, was just great to work with,
good.
so. But they do take time.
So, would you like an email from the communities
Just an
expressing some interest? You want that to go to you, Brad, or to you, Ashley,
Either, yeah,
or
both, either one.
Ashley and
Yes.
Jeff, yeah.
either one?
I don't work well with cards, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
My email address is actually brad.simons, S-I-M-O-N-S, at Dominion Energy, and so.
I know where he sits. He's
Yes.
not far away. I'll find him.
We'll pass that information along and let them, I mean, it's a win for everyone. I mean, really, it's a great situation, but the communities have got to have some support, so that's where you'll be doing your surveys anyway, so for the most part. There's some that's unincorporated in the Garden City area, that's a fairly large hillside that's outside of the Garden City city limits, but I know they would all, one of the issues is a lot of them, some of the roads aren't plowed in the winter, and so a lot of them, because of the fact that they fear running out of propane, they'll drain their water systems and completely shut their houses down because of the availability of even getting propane delivered to them. So, that presents another option for them to keep their homes heated, so that they can actually even snowmobile into them. But,
And unfortunately, with any project, that is the one drawback, is not every home is able to be
Right.
served.
yeah,
And so we have to cast that net, and we've seen that in Eureka as well as Alberta and Goshen. I'm, a half a mile up the road,
Yeah.
To spend a half a mile to pick up one home is a hard justification. But yes, and we do understand that
Well, there's subdivisions, it's just that they don't,
Yeah.
they don't plow the road, so
Yeah.
you literally would, you know, if you went around a circle, so to speak, on there, you know, there would be homes on both sides of the road, I mean, you know, but yeah, there's certainly places
There's
where
limits.
it's
Outliers,
out
yeah.
quite a
Yeah.
ways just
Yeah.
for one
but
home,
we
yeah.
also understand that the landscape and the picture that Garden City is painting is changing into where at one time it was pretty much a summertime
Yeah.
community that's gone out, and we're now repainting it as a year-round, so the dynamics have changed.
I'd be happy to be the contact since I'm a lot closer than Ashley and Brad.
Yes,
Okay.
So if
yes.
Lake Town City Council wanted me to come to a council meeting to ask questions, if Garden City, same thing,
I probably would.
reach
too.
out, I'd be happy to
Okay.
come and answer questions and inform them with whatever I can, and if I don't have the answers, I know where to get them.
Okay. We'll pass your information along to them, and I'm sure they'll probably have you come and give an overview of kind of what your thoughts are.
Questions for us?
No, I hate to be, I'm just pretty excited. This is an opportunity that, I mean, it's been talked about for a long time, you know, I mean, that's the saying. I don't know, you know, I don't know if Jeff and I have talked, but every time I see Dominion representatives or somewhere, whether they're one of our conferences or one of those kind of things, it's kind of like, we got this community and we want to do it. And it's kind of like, yeah, well, that's just, but when you know, when the legislation come about, it was like, here's an opportunity finally, you know, for communities to have the opportunity and yet not have to bear all the costs. So it was a good thing, and you know, we need to work with our legislators and get that 3-year, you know, rolling cap off. We'll see if we can't do that.
We have money to invest, and we are willing to make that investment. Let me remind you also, Commissioner, that through the Utah Association of Counties, our representative. So
We appreciate your sponsorship of the counties.
at the next meeting, you will know who to pull. How are we coming on that? Where are we at?
Yes,
Yeah,
that'll be great.
So we'll see in St. George this fall.
Yes.
Yeah, she was in Ogden last week.
Yeah, I was
The
just
manager
gonna say your booth was there, and
Yeah.
I'd have come over and stole your candy if I'd have known.
Take it any time.
No, we're pleased to become involved. And let me ask you this while we're here. Landfills. Do we have a landfill?
We do.
Is it a big one?
It's not huge, no. The only thing we take is out of our county, but it's, with the growth in Garden City, it's continuing to grow. We right now actually have some cells in which we're monitoring methane off of. I don't know that that's even a capability of anything, but it is our own landfill that we run through the county, so. And if you go along the highway,
It's
it's
right out where we'd run our line.
it's
Yeah.
within half a mile of
They
the
could
line.
use a little natural gas for their generators and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
we're involved in renewable natural gas. That's probably why Brad asked the question, and putting it on the system.
Yes. I don't know that that'd be a good fit to put it on the system at that point because it's a dead end. But there's certainly maybe some opportunities.
Something to look
As
at.
Jeff mentioned, yes,
Absolutely, yeah,
renewable,
yeah.
versus letting the methane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Capture
And
that.
capturing it is, letting it go is 25 times more harmful to the environment than burning it. So,
Another great option. That's
Mhm.
you know, that's great. Yeah,
so,
it's couldn't be closer really. I mean,
yeah.
where it is, if you're lining up going along the highway, it would be less. It would be half a mile, I guess.
for possibly
Mhm.
that opportunity, futuristic in that, yeah.
Other than that, it's a patented, it's BLM with a patent on it that we have. But we could probably go right up along our road and get away from any type of a NEPA situation. So,
Okay.
I'll leave you a stack of cards in case you want to leave them with
yeah,
us to
thank
talk
you.
to.
We'll pass those out.
Yeah, I've got two sides, so one will be you, one will be me.
You got it.
I like that, perfect.
We don't go very far with
We
that.
don't.
Well, thanks again for your
Well,
time this
thank
morning.
you.
Yeah,
That's-
thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's great news. This is
Yeah,
exciting.
exciting.
This is really exciting. It
Yeah.
really is.
That's why when Brad shared, yeah, we didn't hear back from him, I'm like, that's not what I'm hearing. We need to set something up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we get so many, and like I said, I know in the past as we've explored this, it was the communities that were gonna have to bear the
Yeah.
Yes, it
problem,
was.
you know, and, it was just,
It's too,
No,
yeah.
It wasn't
That's
possible.
the
Yeah.
problem with Cokeville.
Yeah.
We gave them an estimate of, this was a year ago, 2 years ago, was 14 million to get, that's the whole distribution service
Yeah.
up to the house, the meter,
yeah,
for a community of 250.
yeah,
No, it doesn't make, we
Yeah.
can't do it. No.
yeah,
Can't even come
Even
close.
for Eureka,
No.
I never
Yeah.
would have had it
yeah, yeah.
either, so.
This is exciting. This is
Yeah.
great, and we'll help you see if we can, as we move along, we'll see if we can help encourage getting your cap off as well.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again for the time.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks for
Appreciate it,
coming.
Commissioners.
Come anytime with good news like that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Woo,
Appreciate it.
crossover, great to meet you. Nice to meet you as well.
We'll be looking forward to
Okay, yeah,
candy, anything.
absolutely.
If you have any
Thanks.
preferences, just send her an email.
Yeah.
And she'll
I'll show up with it.
Okay.
stock the
Drink sodas, and everybody there was looking for Diet Cokes, and they only had Pepsi products up in Ogden. So I'm like, well, next time we'll have a
Well,
little drink area with Diet Cokes.
you had to know where to go. See, the vendors have their own little fridges off to the
Yes.
side.
Yeah, I think the last day we saw one, the guy was like, I just drank the last Diet Coke.
Yeah, they know how to
Yeah,
cater.
that's true, they do.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. See you all.
All right, Kim, our esteemed assessor.
Kim Wilson, Rich County Assessor. I have a refund that is a motor vehicle refund, a boat registration.
Hawker?
Yeah, it's $40.25.
So what happened with that one?
I think it tells you there at the bottom. I think they registered it. And I don't know, can't remember. It's been sitting there for a while. I missed it. I forgot it the last time I was in here.
So they need a dual boat registration
Yes.
and was charged just for a regular boat registration,
So if they are residents of Idaho,
right?
or if they have a current registration in Idaho, then we just do the registration fee only. We don't do the age-based fee in Utah, in our county.
Okay,
You guys approved that a few years
Oh,
ago
okay.
when they were, when everybody was wanting their money so bad
Yeah.
and they were making them register it in both. But these poor people were getting jacked around because Utah wanted their money and Idaho wanted their money. And you guys had approved that if they are dual, if they're doing both, and they've already done it in Idaho, the residents of Idaho, then they can do a dual, and we charge them just the registration fee only, just the state's
because
portion
they've already paid taxes on it in Idaho.
in Idaho.
Okay,
Okay.
And like I said, we could charge it, but these people were trying to comply with the law in both states, and both states were not playing nice with one another at that particular time, so,
imagine that.
yeah, no kidding.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we refund $40.25 to Scott Glenn Hawker.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the refund. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that was a unanimous vote.
Okay, thank you.
Refund
And
be
then
granted.
we
Oh,
have
no.
personal property exemptions. Do you want me to leave these and then you guys do your thing and then bring them back?
Yeah, just come back next commission meeting and we'll have it done by then.
Jeannie won't let me go that long. Jeannie's wanting to be done and have these out of her hair, this amount, because we still have plenty to come back.
We'll be a little while, you can decide.
So,
Why don't you just go ahead and go back and go to work, and we'll work through these, and we'll approve them, and then you can pick them up at lunchtime. You wanna do that?
sure.
Unless do you have other business besides these?
Nope, that's
Okay.
it. Unless you have anything for me.
Okay, there's no use you sitting here watching us
That's kind
scratch
of
our
what I
head.
thought. You guys
We
were
will,
blaming.
if we have any questions, we may come and get you if we
try-
have any questions.
I'll try to check back here in 20 minutes.
Yeah, give us 15 minutes or so.
Thanks.
Okay,
I'll
thanks.
check back and then we'll see where we're at.
Okay.
Explain to me, how come there's so many in one name?
Because they're short-term rentals, probably.
Yeah. so
If
they're
they're
all
short-term
different
rentals, they're homes or condos or something like that in a short-term rental name. And so they're owned by one company, but there's multiples, they have multiples. You'll see that in several of them. Ideal Beach has condos like that. I think it's in Bear Lake Timeshare name, things like that. So, but they're
Seems like
actually
it.
different.
Seems like if you had, I don't know, just to me, if I had something, it would all have to pile into one and be submitted as one. But that's not the
Instead of being
case.
charged like an individual parcel or,
Yeah,
like it's all your stuff.
yeah.
Well, we could look at doing that, but they're all definitely individual parcels. We've never had that come up. If they own individual businesses, then usually they do that. But a lot of times the individual businesses are in different names. We haven't explored that as far as condos or the short-term rentals or anything like that.
What I'm trying to say is there's a limit we can go, right? Like 2,500 or
25,000
25,000, okay. So
if we
Putting
put
these
them all
in,
into
yeah.
one, under one company.
you're gonna hit that quicker than
I guess that's the tax benefit of
scattering it out.
being able to split things up.
I can look at that. I
I
can do some
just-
checking on that,
no,
because
I'm
I
just-
don't know. We have not done that just because they're on individual parcel numbers and we've looked at them as individuals.
So
But
that's
you're
what
right,
makes,
we do have some,
That's
like
what-
Bear Lake Timeshare, if they were, and they probably are still gonna be exempt once it's depreciated down, because their stuff's old. But if it is in one company name, then
so that's
it
what
should be
makes
an
them individual
aggregate.
is the partial number.
That's what
That's
we've
what
done with
splits them
short
up.
terms, yeah.
Okay.
Because we didn't know how else to handle it with them, because we were one of the first counties that even started picking up short-term rentals. Even Park City wasn't picking up short-term rentals, which just floors me. Because there's, you got high-end homes with a lot of furniture and things in them,
Yeah,
that would bring in, they wouldn't be exempt, they would bring in quite a bit of tax dollars. And to be honest, I hadn't even thought about that with these. Because it used to be that most of them were in individual names. But now that we've got, like Bear Lake Timeshare is a prime example. And then Lighthouse Landing was another one that we've got the short term. They're on more than one.
well, that answers my question is
And we haven't,
How-
I'll explore that
how
because
they were separated out.
yeah, it was with the parcel numbers.
Okay.
We were just trying to capture that short term, or that personal property, but then they keep up into 25,000 or that exemption level. And I think you're right, I think it is something about if it's an exact same name, then I think should be the aggregate total. I'll do some checking into that. And I apologize, I should have thought of that before now, but I didn't.
I just seen those like 3 in a row there and I thought,
Yeah. Yeah, we probably should explore that a little bit further. I will step back just a minute.
talking like this one right here, exact same company.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like 3 of those right there.
And I'm fine with them. I just wondered what distinguished them so we could break them up.
Yeah, it almost seems like it should be by entity rather than by parcel. Done those ones. Yep, you've caught up to me.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
We're in an endless circle now.
Yeah. I'm glad you can remember what you once have done. We're almost done.
That's okay. We're, I talked to Jeannie about your question, and we will delve into that and get some more information on that between now and next year. It won't be for next commission meeting, but we'll see if we can't get some.
Well, I just wondered what separated them
Yeah.
in the same name.
Yeah, well, right now we have them just because of the parcels and the different units, but I'm wondering if maybe our thinking is not quite, if we're going about it all wrong. Which would help, because this is a lot of work for no money that we're collecting. Because all of these that you're looking at they're all exempt, so there's no money. And every time they raise that exemption amount, it just exempts more of them.
Thought she sold it, or leased it.
She might lease it, but she probably still owns it.
Yeah, she owns it.
And usually we send it to the owner on record. And I appreciate you asking the question, because then it makes us think a little bit about some of this stuff. And that may be a way we can collect a little bit of money on some of these instead of letting it all go by the wayside.
Everything being exempt.
Because, you know, the way they keep raising it, we just don't have that many huge accounts. Construction companies or the solar farm and a few of those things is what we have. No, those are our biggest accounts. All these others are just little piddly deals. But we do have them. I upped the amount that I wanted to audit this year, I think, to 20. So we do select some. If we're having troubles with getting responses, or we're just random audits on some, just to try to keep them honest and then help them to know what to report. Because I think some of them I thought we would get more money back off of audits, but we're not. We're not picking up a whole lot, so.
So, what do we get off the solar farm?
600 and, it was 600 and some $1,000 that we got off of that on personal property, because it's all personal property.
Every year?
Well, it goes down because it's depreciated every
Right.
year. So there's a certain amount, they haven't filed theirs, they're in the process of doing it, but they changed companies again. And where it's commercial, I made them get me some information from CIP saying that it was okay to give these people the information they wanted. Because with commercial stuff, we have to be so careful, we have to abide by that confidentiality agreement. So if there's trade secrets or whatever between companies, that we're not sharing that with people that we shouldn't share it with. And so I made them get me something from CIP showing that, okaying me, giving me authorization to give that to this new company. So they haven't actually filed theirs, but they can write off so much. There's so many things that they can write off, like 30% for it's tax credits that they receive from the federal government that they can write, but not everything qualifies. So we went through the tax commission, the personal property division, and they searched through all of their income statements and expenses and all of that, all their accounting stuff, to try to sort that out for us, because that was a little beyond my expertise. And so the state tax commission, the personal property division, was very helpful to try to sort that out for us and let us know what stuff they could claim and what stuff was not claimable. Because they were trying to claim a bunch of it, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, not all of that is claimable under the income tax credit.
So we're right around 600 grand though.
I think so. I can go look and see what they paid last year. I can go ask Jeannie and come right back and tell you.
Interesting.
But it's a chunk, but everything's depreciated down every year.
Right.
And then the tax rate changes every year, so we don't collect the same amount every year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the tax rate that we use for personal property is like last year's tax rate, which would be different than the years before.
So is that their taxable rate, or is that how much we collect? Like we pull in 600?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because their taxable rates, I mean, their total value is way high.
Yes, it's higher than that.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll go and ask Jeannie exactly what they paid last year for 2021 and come right back and tell you.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
I think their depreciation schedule is at 10 years, or is it 15?
I thought,
That
well,
was more than that.
yeah, I think the life of the project is supposed to be 30, but their depreciation schedule is based on the class of the property,
Mm-hmm.
and then how many years they depreciate it. And that's a tax commission thing that they
But-
change a little bit every year. And
By the
some
end of
things,
that, they would be not paying anything anymore.
or they would be paying, there would be a minimum
Okay.
that they would be down
They
to
would be
once it's
down to the
depreciated
minimum,
out.
like just,
Even though, say it might be a 30-year or 30-year, or say it's a 20-year depreciation schedule from the state, but that equipment goes till 30 years, then we would still get some, but it wouldn't be.
It's not gonna be how
It would be,
was.
yeah, it wouldn't be how it was. It's a lot more in the beginning, and then, like I said, I think the project was supposed to be a 30-year project. Then we have a lot of questions of what's going to be done with that stuff. Are they going to come in and take it out, remove it, or is it going to be left to the landowner to deal with?
Well, that should have been in the contract
You would think.
with the landowner.
I don't know. And then what do they do with it? Because a lot of that stuff's
Yeah.
shouldn't be put in our landfill.
I think we're gonna ship it to Russia.
Yeah. Send it to Ukraine, that's where they're
I
making
don't know that that's our problem.
making a mess out of all of that. but-
Hopefully by then they would just stick new panels on and we'd
And
start the whole
keep going.
process over, you know?
And I don't know, and what to do with the old process, or the panels, I
I
don't
would
know if
guess they
anybody's
would-
thought about all that.
Upgrade and move on.
Usually they stack them up and I think just sell them in bulk. Because I've tried buying them, you can buy them in pallets from old solar farms.
For what? What would you use them for?
Oh, I mean, those ones are commercial, so they're much higher than what you typically put on your house. So even 10 years from now, those are gonna be high powered compared to what you would buy from.
So
somebody.
you would just buy them and reuse them? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
like
saying?
I'd put them up at a tower, for
Oh.
example, off-grid stuff.
Okay. Good to
I've-
know, I didn't know, and that's that was a question I had, it was what happens at the end of the 30 years? Will they
We
keep
won't be
using-
here in 30 years. We won't be
Probably not, I
radioactive
probably
waste.
won't care, but
Yeah.
you probably will be.
Yeah.
As we get
You're
new.
still a young man, so.
I'd make a motion that we accept the personal property exemptions as presented by our assessor.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the personal property tax exemptions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, voting is unanimous. They stand as approved. Thanks.
Thank you, I will come right
Appreciate
back with that figure.
Thank you.
All right, our next item of business is a resolution making Juneteenth a holiday and removing Columbus Day off of our list of observed holidays by the county.
The chairman is against this. I seen in the text.
Leaked text to the media. He's
Here's
not,
what
for the record.
County attorney's prepared.
About Juneteenth.
Uh-huh. And then also, the new holidays, and he's added Juneteenth and removed Columbus Day. So everyone in the employee of the county that's received a county handbook, we need to get them this and update it, and then also we'll update it on our county website.
Let's have Commissioner Lee read that to us.
We have to read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Resolution number 22-1, resolution amend personnel policy 400-1, adding June 19th as an official county holiday. Whereas June 19th has now been designated a federal holiday in commemoration of the emancipation of enslaved people in the United States, and whereas the state of Utah has recently, by law, adopted June 19th as a state holiday, June 19th National Freedom Day, and whereas the Rich County Board of Commissioners determines that commemorating June 19th National Freedom Day is in the county's best interest, and whereas the county personnel manual sets out the official holidays in which the county's offices close, and whereas the county commission has the authority to establish holidays that will be observed in the county offices. Be therefore resolved, the Rich County Board of Commissioners adopts June 19th National Freedom Day on June 19th as an official county holiday. Be it further resolved, the Rich County Board of Commission amends Personnel Policy 400-1, holidays to reflect the change. Be it further resolved, the Board of Commissioners removes Columbus Day from the list of county holidays where the county offices will close. The resolution shall be effective on the date as it is adopted.
Thank you.
So you don't like that because you paused on the Columbus Day thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to see Columbus Day go.
Yeah.
The only reason I guess not the only reason, but one reason I'm okay with it is because there is a lot of holidays jammed together. So it'll be nice to spread them out. But I think Columbus did a lot more for Western society than almost any other person. He wasn't a good guy, but he changed the world quite a bit. But as the way politics are moving, I also think June 19th is a good day to celebrate. So, if we're going to take one out and pass it around, that's probably the one to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I asked our county attorney, and he said Davis County does not have Columbus Day anymore. But that didn't mean to say that we couldn't still.
But it's not a federal holiday either? Or did the state remove it as well?
I don't know that. He just said they don't, that's not one of the ones they have.
No, they did not remove it. They will observe both.
They just added it?
State,
I thought they'd observe both.
hmm?
Can we just observe both? I mean, we'd have to pay for it.
Yeah, we just have to amend the ordinance. That we just add it and rather than replace. Whatever your pleasure is.
Okay, so in 2020, they paid 640-something thousand, but then with the ITC, we hadn't taken that into account, so they ended up paying, after we refunded them back, they paid 549,610.14, so 549,610. Wow. And then this last year, 2021, they paid 498,151.86.
Say that again, the last one?
This last year, 2021, was 498,151.86. And then I don't know where that'll shake out for this year.
So the year before that was 549 what?
549,610.14.
16. 16, okay.
Yeah, so, like I said, it's
Right about 50,000 a year.
Yeah,
appreciated.
55.
And they're not adding anything new that we've seen. Now, we'll see what, they haven't sent their signed statement back yet, but, so the original amount, so I apologize, because I was thinking 600,000, but that was the original amount before the income tax credits
Yeah.
we
Okay.
had to take into account, so.
All right, thank you for bringing
Thanks.
those in.
You bet.
Well, I'm easy either way, so. I worked on both those days, so.
Yeah, me too. Well, we can see the way everything's shifting, and again, it's not like we're getting rid of Christmas, you know?
I might be against Christmas.
Yeah.
Because we had, I don't know, I know some of the other commissioners discussed what they were doing. Most of them had actually replaced Columbus Day, but the ones that I talked to, and there would probably been 4 or 5 or 6 of us, but every one of them had not. They just replaced one day for another, but,
Yeah.
so.
A lot of them replaced Columbus Day when they took the day after Thanksgiving off.
Right, yeah, some did that.
They've replaced Columbus Day for Black Friday. Wow.
Well, Black Friday was not a national holiday at that time.
Yeah. Kind of
So-
is now. Yeah, I'm fine replacing that. I'm fine with how it is. It's just the anti-woke, in me, but I think June 19th is awesome.
Okay, we either need to make a motion or we need to amend it, one or the other.
Read it or I will. You can. I make a motion that we add Juneteenth, June 19th as an official county holiday and replace Columbus Day.
Okay,
Second.
have a motion and a second to make a holiday adjustment with June 19th, Juneteenth. All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Okay, that will be changed. And we will make sure that each employee gets a new,
With that the resolution, do we have to do a roll call
Yeah,
vote?
that's what I was wondering. I think maybe it'd be a good idea to have a deal on
That's what it
that.
says.
Yes.
all in favor? Commissioner Weston,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
No, just kidding. Yes.
and I am an aye as well, so.
Okay. I'll mark it. Let's see, you've got to sign it though.
That'll take effect this coming June.
Yes, that's why
Which
we
is a
need to
Sunday,
get it
right?
on. And so we'll observe it on
On
Monday.
Monday.
Okay.
I'll make sure all the department heads are aware of it.
minutes early.
What about, should we do the minutes and,
Oh, yeah.
You read them?
I didn't get a chance. Did you, John?
Yeah.
Good to me.
John, did you send that link to Mitch?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the April 6, 2020 meeting.
Does that have to be a roll call vote too?
Not that I know of.
I'm unclear as to what roll call votes need to be now.
Well,
I know
I'm not either, except I know this is,
I know executive session does,
and this was where it was
and
designated.
ordinances
Yeah.
obviously would be.
And resolutions? Is that a resolution or
Yeah.
an ordinance?
It's
Yes.
an ordinance.
And a resolution,
Oh, is it?
yeah. It was a resolution.
Oh, well, yeah, duh. Yes, it is.
I'll second it. Minutes.
To approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Voting was unanimous. All voted aye.
Got it. So I've got meetings next Tuesday on the Utah Retirement System. Are there changes to the public safety? I guess I'll find out. No, they didn't, that didn't go through.
As far as what?
Well, they were gonna try and do more with the public safety police officers, giving them more, taking, I don't know.
Allowing them to work after retirement or instead of waiting a
Was
year?
that what the,
That's what, that was the legislation was, is the cooling off period was reduced from a year down to 60 days, but it didn't pass.
didn't pass?
No. So I'm not sure what other public safety, the only thing would be a rate increase, but I don't know.
There was, I've received the rates, and there is a little bit of a difference in there, but I don't know, like I said, I'll be able to find out more at the meeting. It's the update on this legislation, so.
Okay.
And I took the county car, and thank you for new tires. I felt safer.
Well,
You don't need to be stranded on the side of the road.
really, you know, and when you drive as fast as you do, we need to have the best equipment we got. Okay, well, looks like that's all we have before lunch, so we can approve the expenditures after lunch, once we all get a chance to review them, so. I move we adjourn for lunch. Or I'll make a motion to adjourn, or I'll just adjourn us for lunch, however you wanna do that.
Okay. So,
So what do you wanna do about
Oh, sorry, this button.